Good Monday morning to you. We are musing about redefining gospel basis with a different lens than many of us have been used to. Let's take one issue. Let's take the big issue. Sin. Most of you, if you've been raised in a Western, Protestant, or Catholic background, you've been told that sin is missing the mark. You go to your nice concordance, you look it up, it's hamartia, and it means to miss the mark. That's possible. It's not wrong. It's not the only way to look at it, though. There are literally over a dozen different words in the scripture used to define sin. Why have you and I only been taught about one? Because it's foundational to the criminal mindset, the lawyerly mindset of the Western church. In the Septuagint, in Leviticus, there's a long Greek word that I'm not even going to pretend to pronounce. They don't define sin that way. It's actually a musical term. And it means to be out of tune. The problem with missing the mark is this. It is presuppositionally based on performance and behavior. There's a standard. You've missed it. Whereas in a musical analogy, what makes something discordant, dissonant, discord? Stay with me. The relationship of the notes to one another. Sin is when the notes are not in right relationship. If you ask someone, an evangelical fundamentalist, what was the first sin recorded in the Bible? Most people will go to Cain killing Abel. Think about it. Again, that's behavioral and based on action. The first manifest sin, not the fall per se, but the first way that the fall manifested. Well, Cain killing Abel. I don't think so. Before the fall, when Adam and Eve were together, when he thought of her as bone of his bone and flesh of his flesh. After the fall, the first sin is this: that woman. Relational alienation. So not only does relational alienation come into the picture, but he blames God. That woman that you gave me. Guilt, blame shifting, victimization, all based on being relationally alienated. I have a suggestion for you, a challenge. When this began to unfold for me, it revolutionized my understanding of the gospel. And there's other words. Real quickly, again, we do the 6-hour seminar. I can't do it that depth right here today. One of the words used for sin is the word for a planet circling in its orbit and not maintaining its orbit. What does that mean? There's a center and it's in wrong relationship. What if sin is a relational problem rather than a criminal one? We will respond, the cure will be different for each. And your expectation of what Christianity is and does and works is going to be determinant. If you think the problem is defined this way, your expectation for the cure is going to be affected by that. So it's a very important question. I'm convinced that a better rendering, a rendering that's faithful to a non-Western, faithful to a Jewish, Eastern perspective of the issue, a better way to approach the sin issue is one of relational alienation caused by a disease. The disease is sin. The fruit of the sin is relational alienation. And because I'm relationally alienated, that means I can do any kind of thing to you, include killing you, Cain and Abel. Otherwise, the behavior occurs because I am relationally alienated from Father and you. If that's true, then the cure for sin The good news of the gospel needs to be reevaluated and represented on a relational paradigm. And that's what he said.